What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. All right, everybody. So I thought this was an interesting article that came out. You might have already seen some other folks covering this on the Hollywood Reporter. The summer box office is quickly turning south. And what they're talking about is a lack of tentpoles, which are just blockbuster movies. A tentpole is just a movie that holds up the entire tent for a film studio for the year. So they're saying it's a lack of tentpoles, but I don't think that's the problem at all. They got plenty of tentpoles. People just ain't coming to check for the tentpoles. And that brings us to the other article, which I've already covered. Disney's Boy Trouble. Studio seeks original IP to win back Gen Z men amid Marvel and Lucasfilm struggles. Notice I mentioned this before. They're trying to win back the Gen Z men. Notice it's not the Gen Z women. It's the Gen Z men. Men are the ones, in my opinion, and don't take this as sexist or anything, but men drive a lot of the box office for especially during the summer. During the summer is dinner and the movie season, where it's like, hey, baby, let's go out for, dinner and a movie. I'm going to pick you up. We're going to go watch a movie. We're going to go check this out. And then if your movie is starring Pedro Pascal, you probably ain't going to see that, right? If this is one of the biggest movies of the summer, and it's like, oh my God, Pedro Pascal, I love him. Let's go watch this movie. As a man, you're like, hell no, I'm not watching this movie. Hell no, I'm not watching this movie. Nah, we're going to go check out something else. We ain't watching Pedro Pascal. And that's one of the big problems that you got. This cat right here being the headliner of a major summer blockbuster. This dude is box office poison, okay? Mr. H just did a video about this. You guys should check it out. Mr. H just did a video breaking down how much of a poison pill this cat is in the box office. All right. And this is what Marvel's slate has looked like. It's been flop, flop, flop for the movies. And the main one, the biggest one, was Pedro Pascal's Fantastic Four First Steps. So yeah, I mean, I think when you're talking about like trying to win back the Gen Z men, yeah, you got to look, Gen Z men, in my opinion, are more like trying to figure out who they are right now. Am I a masculine man? Am I going to be an effeminate man? Like, what kind of a man do I want to be? And if you're out there showing them this dude, a lot of people are rejecting this look. That's just the reality of the situation, Hollywood. You may not like it because all of your cohorts, all right, all of your homies, they're all like Pedro Pascal, which in my opinion, this bro is gay. He may not be out as gay, but he gay as the sun is shining. And a lot of men are into masculinity now. I want to be a man. I don't want to be a little, femboy. I want to be a man. And so, yeah, that's the reason why a lot of these movies are flopping, because they're not catering to the male audience. And then when you get over here into the summer, they're talking about the tentpoles. The tentpoles are Marvel movies, DC movies, Star Wars, things like that. Again, it's Pedro Pascal. He's the headliner of the next Star Wars movie, The Mandalorian and Grogu. How is that one going to do? Star Wars is sitting at the bottom of the ocean. They haven't embraced masculinity. They need to embrace masculinity if they want to bring the men back. All right, so yeah, Disney, if you want to bring the Gen Z men, you want to win them back, you got to bring back masculinity. It's as simple as that. It is as simple as that. Jack Reacher. Again, regardless of Alan Richton's personal political affiliations and what he believes in, he looks like a masculine man. That's what Gen Z men want to be, And then you get to this article right here. Hollywood, this is on Outkick, actually. Hollywood has another dismal summer after telling half of Americans it hates them. That's the other piece. Why are you telling your audience you hate them? Why are you telling your audience to go fuck themselves? Why are you doing this? This makes zero sense to me. You should be trying to, especially when you're talking about tent poles, blockbusters, you should be trying to cast the widest net possible. You cannot allow your actors to get out there and get into the ideology. All right, to get so baked into it, as they say, the political messaging and the ideological content. You can't do that. You're going to alienate your audiences. Audiences are not showing up for this. Audiences do not want to be preached at. If I want to be preached at, guess where I'm going? Church. I'm not going to AMC. All right. I'm not going to Cinemark or Regal or any place like that. I'm going to church if I want to be preached at. You got to start talking to your Hollywood cronies, and you got to start telling these people you got to leave all this political messaging out of the movies. I'm not saying that you can't have like some underlying message or theme to the movies, because all movies ultimately do have some sort of a theme that connects everything to the human spirit, all right, to the human experience. All of that is true. But it can't be so on the nose and so over the top that it feels like a sledgehammer beating you in the head, all right? You got to layer those messages subtly, all right, into the subtext. 5 or 6 layers down.
Message.
Where, you know, it hits them, but it doesn't really hit them until they've watched it like maybe 5, 6, 7 times later. And then it's like, oh man, this thing had a message. I didn't even see it. Wow, what brilliant writing. What a great writer. Instead of just taking a sledgehammer and bashing some dude over the head with it. But, you know, look, I mean, this whole thing about the summer blockbuster falling apart, all right, as they're talking about here with the Tentpoles and the summer turning south quickly, this should be of no surprise to anybody that's been watching my channel for any stretch of time, because I always bring up this chart, all right? The annual ticket sales. And you guys know I love this chart. This is one of my favorite charts on the internet, all right? Because it breaks it down in 2 areas, tickets sold and box office. Look at the tickets sold right now, all right? That's the blue line. The blue line has been steadily dropping since 2002. Down, 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 all right? And then in 2019, right before the pandemic, all right, it was still doing about 1.2 billion tickets sold a year. But then after the pandemic and then the recovery, they thought, all right, it's going to keep recovering. 21, it's going to recover. 22, all right. 23. But then what happened in 24? Oh, 760 million tickets sold. And this year, it looks like right now it's trending downwards again. 759 million tickets sold. So yeah, this is bad news for Hollywood. I've been talking about this for a while because I'm a moviegoer. I want to go back to the movies. I want to enjoy movies. But the problem is that Hollywood, they're doing this type of dumb shit, all right? They're giving us this guy, Pedro Pascal, or Pedro as I like to call him, all right? Pedro Pascal does not move the needle. Get him out of your box office or tell him to shut his ass up. Hey, Pedro, whatever your damn name is, I'm going to need you to stop talking, bro. I'm going to need you to just go out there and act. Shut up and act. Like LeBron James, shut up and dribble. Shut up and act. Don't have any commentary. Don't say nothing about nobody. And just try to tone down everything that is that you're doing. I honestly do think Pedro is a good actor. All right? He's a good actor. He's not a great actor, but he's a good actor. But at the end of the day, people will not come and watch summer tentpoles, all right? Summer blockbusters with this dude in it. You know, I thought it was funny they left him off of this cover. No. Y'all should have put Pedro Pascal right here front and center instead of the thing. All right. This guy wasn't the problem in the movie. He certainly wasn't. There was a lot of bread left on the table because you had Pedro Pascal as front and center as the main character. You know, and then Yelena, look, she's not a Hollywood star yet. I mean, I know a lot of people like her. I know, you know, some dudes on the internet, they be talking about her. She's not that. She's not that. She's just not that. All right. You know, and then you got Elio. Look, the movies that they brought out this summer were pretty trash anyway. So I'm not surprised. You know, Superman is the biggest movie domestically anyway of the summer. But overall in the box office, it failed. Yeah, and the Hollywood Reporter had put this up, the season's box office roller coaster. So it matches the other chart. It absolutely matches this chart in terms of how it's just up and down, up and down, up and down when it comes to the box office overall. Right here, you can see during the summers, it peaked out, which is this, like about 2013, all right, $4.76 billion. It hasn't reached back to that. You know, it's gotten to 4.9, 4.3, 4.35. That was in 2019. It dipped, it fell all the way down. It got all the way back to 4 billion in 23, but it hasn't recovered. 24 was down. They're saying it might be slightly up in 25, but the summer is the time to make the money for all of these Hollywood studios, and they're just not making it. Yeah, and another thing that's keeping people out of the theaters, besides all the ideological nonsense and the messages and the agenda, are just the ticket prices. I mean, this is just absolutely crazy. I drew this up. This is out of a Cinemark. I drew this up for Cinemark just to see what the prices would be at a cheaper theater, because I think AMC is a little bit more expensive. But still, 2 tickets cost me $33 basically. $33 for 2 tickets to a movie? That's wild. That is absolutely insane. But I guess that's what tickets price cost nowadays. I got AMC A-list. I pay like 25, 26, 27 a month. I'm not sure exactly what, but then I can watch 4 movies a week. If you don't have something like that, it makes absolutely no sense to be paying $33 for 2 tickets. If I was taking out me and my girl, $33. And then it's another $33 just for this simple food and drink combo. A large popcorn and a drink. Get a pepperoni pizza with a Pizza Hut label on it, all right? Probably don't cost $12.65. Probably should cost about $5. But nevertheless, because you put the Pizza Hut's label on it, it costs $13. And then a small icy for her. So we're going to get that. We're going to share the popcorn. I got my large fountain drink. She got her small icy. This is $68. Damn near $70 to go to a movie down. That's the subtotal before you get to any taxes. They got this $2 delivery charge. Man, I can go pick this up. Don't deliver my food. I will pick it up. But, you know, they got to upcharge everything, you know. And then they tell you, oh, it's going to be delivered between 6:45 and 7. Look, let me tell you right now, when I order food, it never comes at this time. It never comes at this time, yo. It'd be halfway the movie, almost damn near over. Here's your food, sir. Bro, where have you been? I thought this was going to come during the trailers. Shit, man, going to the movies is not a fun experience. It's a lot of money. And then you're watching trash. And then you're watching this bullshit. Like, come on, man. Like, convince me to go to a movie, Hollywood. Convince me. You can't. You can't. Look, that was for Weapons. Weapons is like the only good thing in the theaters right now. All right? This whole thing is for Weapons. Okay, maybe for Weapons. Is Weapons worth $70? Okay, maybe. Or I can Netflix and chill tonight. We can order some food in, some good food for $70, bro. We could probably get a really good meal. So yeah, this is the reason why the summer blockbusters right now are falling apart and the box office is turning south, because Hollywood has lost the plot. You're giving us trash, absolute trash movies, all right? You're throwing this dude in damn near all of them. Pedro Pascal is in all the movies now. We tired of his ass. We tired of looking at him. And then on top of that, you charging me an arm and a leg to go. Why would I go? Like, why would I go to the movies, man? Can somebody give me an explanation of this? There's no way in hell I'm going to the movies. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think about it, man. Look, I think at the end of the day, they got a big hill to climb when it comes to bringing people back into the box office. But I think these numbers are going to continue to drop, all right? The tickets sold, it went from 800 million to 760 million. Now they're projecting it to be even lower than that, 759 million. There's not much left for 2025 to try to get people into theaters. What's coming up next? Is there any movie that you're interested in going to? I think I'm kind of interested in The Running Man and Tron Ares, and that's pretty much it. Y'all let me know what y'all interested in the comments. Go ahead, drop down, give me your thoughts and opinions on that. Thanks for watching. See you next time.